Hi, I'm Alisa. I've been working in video editing for more than 10 years. My experience goes from television and trailers all the way to commercial projects and AI content. Recently, I wanted to find a beautiful way to showcase an editing workflow inside Adobe Premiere Pro. It sounds like a simple task, but after several hours of searching, I still couldn't find a tutorial with a result that I actually liked. And of course, my first thought was, can this effect be created with AI? But we'll talk about that later. First, I'll show you the method that gave me full control over the final result. For this workflow, we need two versions of the timeline, an empty one and a completed one. I prepared them in advance, but you can simply take screenshots or record your own timeline. If you want to add an animated playhead like mine, I'll show that process later. Let's import both assets into After Effects. To save time on composition settings, create a new composition from one of your files. This way, all settings will automatically match. In my case, it's 1920 by 1080 at 25 frames per second. Now make sure the empty timeline is underneath and the completed timeline is on top. And now we move to the most important part, animating the elements appearing. For this, we'll work with masks. Select the top layer and choose the first element you want to animate. In my case, it's the large brown block that works as the background for the other clips. Create a mask around it and carefully check the edges. If you zoom in on the animation later, even small mistakes will become visible. Now open the mask settings and create the first keyframe. Move slightly backward on the timeline and change the mask shape to create the reveal animation. To make the movement smoother, apply Easy Ease, press F9, then adjust the curves inside the graph editor. Now duplicate the layer, remove the old mask, and create a new mask for the next element. For smaller objects, I use a different approach. I move the anchor point to the center of the element and animate it using scale. This makes the appearance feel more dynamic and gives the animation more variety. Then the process repeats. To speed things up, I simply duplicate a prepared layer and move the mask onto the next element. The important part is to watch the mask shape and the anchor point position. Trust me, this is much faster than searching for a mistake later among dozens of layers. Here is a small tip. While working, you can temporarily switch the mask mode from Add to None. This makes editing the mask shape much easier. Just remember to switch it back afterward. And one more tip. If you recreate this effect yourself, choose a shorter timeline. This version took me much longer than I expected. Once all elements are ready, we can move on to the playhead. In my case, it was already included in the screen recording, but it didn't look clean enough. It was especially noticeable in the middle part of the line. So, I decided to rebuild it. First, I tracked the existing playhead and connected the tracking data to a null object. After that, create a shape layer, draw a thin vertical line, use the eyedropper tool to match the right color, then create the top part of the playhead separately. Finally, parent both elements to the null object. Now the movement stays the same as the original, but it looks much cleaner. After that, I check if my line covers the gap, and it does not, so I adjust it. Now it looks much better. And this is how we get a clean and smooth playhead. At this point, the main animation is finished. Now we can move on to styling. I wanted the timeline to look less like a screen recording and more like an interface element inside a commercial. So I started with a color pass. I like the idea of gradually coloring the elements as they appear. For the main color, I used a brown tone. Then I added basic 3D and slightly animated the rotation to create more depth and movement. After that, I added extra animation using position and scale. For the screen effect, I used mosaic. Then I added RGB split and spherize effects to create the feeling of a real display. To guide the viewer's attention along the playhead movement, I added focus blur, and at the very end, I used strobe light. This creates a subtle illusion that we are filming a real monitor with a camera. After that, all that's left is adding sound design, and the main version of the effect is ready. But now let's return to the AI approach. Actually, this is where I started. I took a screenshot of the empty timeline and a screenshot of the completed timeline. Then I uploaded them into Kling 3.0 Pro. I asked it to generate an animation transition between them. The prompt I used will be in the video description. And here is the result. At first glance, it actually looks pretty good, but the longer you look, the more details you notice. For example, the lighting changes at the beginning, the uneven playhead movement near the end, and some small interface artifacts. Maybe some of these problems could be fixed with better prompt adjustments. But I didn't want to spend more credits on additional experiments. That's why for the final version, I chose manual animation. No matter how much I love using AI in my workflow, sometimes motion design still gives the best results when you create it yourself. I hope this breakdown was useful. If you are interested in editing, motion design, AI tools, and experiments like this, subscribe to the channel and follow my Telegram channel as well. If you try recreating this effect yourself, let me know in the comments how it turned out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.